So, video.
Oh.
So because we're not going to be hitting any marinas on the way back to Kinsale, we have to fill up the diesel tank slowly with a jerry can. Don't think we've used more than maybe 50 litres in the last couple of weeks, but I'd rather have a stock of diesel on board than be looking for it. The boat carries 300, but I reckon we need 200 in the keel, and I want to fill it up, so we're going to get some diesel.
We broke down.
So we're halfway home and the dinghy broke down. This is why you bring oars, but I hate rowing. Don't even dare. Hang on. Oh no, it's gonna leave. So we're about to leave Glengarriff, and it's hammering rain for the rest of the day apparently. So, and there's no wind, so it's going to take us around 6 hours to get back to Crookhaven, where we left from about 4 days ago. We've been here for nearly a week. It's just been so nice that we haven't wanted to leave. I think I might be given a false kind of idea of what we're doing at the moment. This is just kind of a 2-week cruise just to get away from work and the work on the boat. So we took 2 weeks off and went sailing. Going back to Kinsale now to finish off the rest of the interior. So you haven't missed anything apart from I didn't go through the doors in detail, or I put the heads, just the toilet itself, in, but I haven't done any major work inside from what you guys have actually seen. So we probably won't be leaving till the middle of next year. This is just a shakedown. And it went really well, and everything's working so far that we've fitted, so that's really positive. So what I'm going to do, lift the anchor up, get the engine running and everything, break the anchor out, and then head off to Crookhaven. It's about 6 hours of motoring. It's not going to be anything interesting, and it's going to be pissing rain, so yeah. So we're just coming out of Bantry Bay now, coming around the Sheep's Head and heading on towards the Mizzen. I think we're going to go straight for Baltimore because we're having an alternator problem. It's been an intermittent issue I've had that I was hoping I solved with the new wiring loom, and I had the alternator tested before we left and it was giving out perfect 14.5 odd volts. So I'm not quite sure what's happened. So for now I've linked the batteries so that the solar can keep up and charge the start battery, and I think tomorrow then we'll probably head straight for Kinsale and get that sorted out. But that's the reason you do a shakedown, is you see all the issues, you shake the boat and find all the problems. So that's one of them. So haven't had any major issues apart from us clashing onto that rock. The only other issue I've had really is the outboard motor and the alternator. So those are the only two issues we've really had. Like, we put 30 hours on the engine the last 2 weeks because there's just been no wind at all. There's no wind again today. We had a little bit of wind, so like maybe 6-7 knots of breeze less, and we were doing 3 knots, but once I realised that alternator was starting to give jip, I said let's just motor to Baltimore because I can motor at 6 knots. So we'll drop the hook in Baltimore and see if I can fix the alternator, and if not, we'll just charge it up with the solar and just head for home tomorrow. So yeah, this happens and it's okay. So I think the Mizzen is there somewhere and Sheep's Head is back there somewhere. I not very good visibility today. There's less than a mile, I'd say. Maybe a mile and, yeah, probably half a mile to a mile of visibility. And this can get busy with shipping as well, because there's a traffic separation zone out by the Fastnet, just south of the Fastnet. We're not going out that far. I'm hoping to go into Roaring Water Bay and go around the back side of Shirkin. But I'm also considering as well that if the visibility gets any worse, I won't be able to see all of the rocks in Roaring Water Bay. So I have a decision to make in about half an hour as to whether I go around Cape Clear. I mean, the conditions are really light, so there's not much swell, so it would be okay. It would take an extra 45 minutes. Or I could go in behind Shirkin Island and work my way through there slowly. So I have to make a decision. I reckon I'll probably go around and keep myself in deep water and not kind of taking the risks. So yeah, it hasn't rained properly for a while, which is nice. This is just to keep my head warm because it's a bit chilly today. And again, we're motoring, like, the wind is, we could probably sail. There's a good breeze there, but Niamh is asleep. She's going to come up soon and I'll go and watch. I'm going to take a rest myself. But so it's easier sometimes just motor away, get home slowly. There's nothing to prove. I'm not racing. Just tip away, enjoy myself, do what feels safe, and not put ourselves at any risk. So I reckon we're in. I can barely see the sheep's head now, and I reckon that the mizzen is just really badly fogged. So I just need to be a bit more careful now and make sure we don't run up on the rocks. I've kept well off, so we should be okay.
Walking out of nowhere.
Yes, that did.
There you go, Bob.
We're just coming around the rocks here into Crookhaven, and yeah, there was a couple of instances there where people weren't watching where they were going, I'd say, because they looked very surprised when we passed them. But yeah, we're coming into Crookhaven. We decided to go in here because it's a bit safer to, rather than going out that way, and you know, it can be a bit dodgy out that way because there's rocks all the way around all the islands there going into Baltimore. So if we go into Crookhaven now and drop the hook and wait for the fog to clear, we can go tomorrow. A bit safer. So we dropped the hook in Crookhaven, and as you can see, it wasn't too soon. Fog really came in, and it got really bad. I can't see anything. I can see maybe 30 meters around the boat now. Well, actually no, it's clearing a little bit, but it was worse earlier. The fog will clear now, but we'll stay the night, I'd say, and we'll move off tomorrow. So we left Crookhaven 4 hours ago, I think now, and the fog had cleared at that stage, but it seems to be back again. The visibility isn't quite as bad as yesterday, but like we're only 5 hours away from Kinsale now, so we're going to keep going. We were thinking of going to Baltimore for a night, but because now the alternator is giving hassle, I kind of want to get the boat home and just have this kind of shakedown done with so that I can start repairing things. But as I was saying earlier, I think the shakedown went pretty well. Like, most things have worked really well. The alternator is the only really main issue, and me colliding with that rock, but that was my fault. But yeah, this rain is starting to come in now, so I'm just going to hunker down, put the tablet away because I haven't got a case on it, and just motor on. So we just came around the old head, and fog came back. Kinsale is only like a mile and a half ahead of us. The old head is like a mile behind us. And you can see where the fog is just like taking over the land again. So we're gonna motoring into very thick fog now, which is a little bit daunting. I don't like fog. So we got back from our shakedown cruise in one piece, and even though that fog rolled in and everything, we had a really good time coming back. So the shakedown has been finished. And as I was saying, there were a few things that we needed to fix after that trip, alternator, things like that, but nothing major, which is really good. But there is something that I need to announce, I suppose, and tell everyone that I've been really excited about, but I've been keeping to myself until it was kind of finalized. But it's huge. Now, a few of you will have been following this from the very start. There weren't very many, but some of you will be have been here for the last 3 years. And from day one, there was always a major issue in my head with the boat. And it was something that we could, I had all these different ideas of fixing, and that was the size of the mast. Now, we went through loads of different options, looking at shortening the boom, adding more ballast to the boat, loads of different things, and some of you will already know that. Now, about a year ago, a guy called Stephen Horrocks from the Boat Shed Sailmakers in Pwllheli got onto me and mentioned that if I needed anything, just give him a call. So I gave him a shout, and we kind of said, look, maybe we can do something about sales. I can get some a part sponsorship for sales off him, which we're still doing actually. The sales, he's helped me out with sales and things like that. But aside from that, we were talking back and forth about the different options about the mast, and we had option A, which was shorten the boom and add some ballast. So that would have made the sail area quite small, but we still would have had quite a large amount of extra sail at the bottom of the sail, and the mast would have still had a massive amount of extra weight, extra windage and all that kind of stuff, which we were going to offset with ballast. Now that was option A, and we went back and forth thinking about it, and after a while I was sitting there looking at the mast, I decided it has to go. So I'm assuming some of you will have figured it out already, but we actually ended up having to buy a new mast. So Stephen, the absolute legend that he is, helped me redesign the rig from scratch. So yeah, I emptied my bank account of everything that I own, and we bought the mast. And Stephen has been unreal about the whole thing and has offered to help me out by giving me sails, which is just, it's unbelievable. Anyone who's ever bought sails knows that's a huge amount that they would actually have to cost to buy. So just massive. It's just massive. The whole thing is crazy. Now, aside from that, the mast has been bought. The mast is due to be delivered in about 3 or 4 weeks, and I need to go to Pwllheli in the boat to get the mast fitted. Now, obviously, this has just completely cleaned me out, like completely. So the overall plan for this project was to have it finished in 2020, which is actually on track. So we should be able to have blue water under that keel by next summer, which is very exciting. In order for that to happen, the boat needs to be finished, which is on track, and we need to have a certain amount of money put away, which is where all of this spiel comes in. Now, going back about 2 years ago, you may remember we did a kind of collaboration with SV Seeker, and we had those challenge coins made. And there were 500 of those made, and we sold 300 or so, or 350 of those. And they all sold, and the money went towards the project, which was unreal. Now, I'm ranting for a reason. We have 150 of those left. So there's 150 of them. They're the challenge coins. This is my own one, so it's a bit scuffed, and it's been around with me for the last 2 years in my pocket. And every so often I pull it out and I look at it and remember where we actually started with this boat. It started off as the bare hull, and we built it from almost nothing. And not only with the help of the community online, with sailors around where I live, people internationally offering help, offering money every so often, we're finally at the stage where the boat is nearly there. Now you may remember when we started this whole thing off, we were selling them for $20. $20, and then they were shipped over to whoever bought them, and that money went towards the project. And it went a long way to helping out. Now, I've done some calculations on the 150 that we've got left, and in order for us to kind of cover a lot of the mast, if I sell these for €50 delivered, we should be able to cover that and get our savings back up. Now I know what you're thinking, €50 for these is a lot of money, right? And I completely understand that, and look, it is what it is. But for me to be able to cover that, if 150 people bought these, we'd have the mast mostly covered. Now, I've never been fully comfortable advertising things and advertising myself and trying to sell things to make money. It's just never really been in my system. But I'm kind of stuck, so I have to. If you buy one of these, they're €50, we deliver them to you for the €50 wherever you are in the world. So, you know, that cuts back. We end up making about 40 to €45 per coin, which gets us around 6 grand, and then we pay our taxes on that, and we should be able to take 4.5, 5 grand. Now that will cover a lot of the mast. Now I know what you're thinking, like €50 for this it's shocking. I know, but it's not about that. It's about being part of the final steps in getting this project finished. So anyone who buys one of these, the last 150 of them, I know people have bought these already and there's 350 of these out there already, but this last 150 is all about that bit from the blue up, all the white stuff, all that from there up is what you're helping towards. Now, look, maybe none of you will help, maybe 150 of you will help, but I'm massively appreciative of everything we've been given already, and I know this is a bit of a stretch, but look, it is what it is, and I'm kind of in a corner, so I have to. Right, now that's over, do consider buying one of these. The link is in the description below. Niamh has put a huge amount of effort into setting up the shop, so if there's any issue, just let us know straight away and we'll get it sorted out. Anywhere in the world you are, this will be shipped to you. Please bear in mind that shipping and postage at the moment over this virus is nuts. So these are going to take a while to get to you, but they'll get to you. And you'll be part of fixing my erection. Right, so I'm going to leave it at that. That spiel is enough for me, and hopefully these will all sell, we'll get our bank account sorted out, and by summer next year we'll be off. So I'm going to get back to work on the bathroom, on the heads, get that finished, and then give you an update on how the project is in the next episode. Right, thanks for watching. Sorry for the rant, sorry for the e-begging or whatever it is, and see you soon.